Hey, what's up YouTube? This is CookieMonster ProForgeRacing, bringing you my personal history of Forge part 4 of 4. The first 3 parts were all of my Halo 3 maps, and this 4th part is all of my Halo Reach maps. For my Halo 3 maps, what I did was an overview of everything, except I also did gameplay on my racetracks. But on my Halo Reach racetracks, I'm not doing gameplay because I'm pretty sure everyone has seen them. But anyways, this first map here is called Revolution, and this is an awesome map that is intended to be a roller coaster. RLD Hot Tamale gives me a hard time about this map all the time, saying it's not a roller coaster because it's not super thin like one. But the ending part is thin, and I just didn't know the pieces at the time because I made this game. I started this map the day the game came out on September 14th, 2010. But it's supposed to have like an underwater, abandoned city kind of theme to it. It was going to be entered into an early Reach forging contest, but I ended up using this map instead, Round the Mountain. And this was an awesome giant roller coaster circling the mountain, and it's supposed to have like a military base kind of theme to it. And this map, my most downloaded map in Halo 3, got like 550 downloads. And this map within the first week got 10,000 downloads. As a whole, it got over 21,000, but 10,000 in a week. That was just crazy and unheard of for me, and I was so excited. Every day I would come home from school or work, and it would have thousands more. And this map is Mon Dieu, and I made it for the Halloween Forge contest on halotracks.org. It's my first double wide in Halo Reach. It's a great map in my opinion. Not perfect, but it is a really good map. It's got some cool scenery. It's got like a graveyard and a scarecrow and a skeleton face and a few other random things. This is Unevasive Jungle, my 4th map, and this is supposed to be a jungle. It's an infection map, the first and only infection map I ever made in Halo 3 or Reach. And you spawn in a little boat, and there's lily pads next to you, and a teleporter or a staircase, and it's played with a jungle fever game type. It's supposed to feel like you're in like some jungle. It's pretty cool. This is my 4th racetrack, my 5th map, Stupefy, my 2nd double wide. It's a great map, one of my most popular and downloaded double wide maps, if not my very most popular and downloaded. And this was our 2nd most viewed YouTube video, was the video of this map. It was a great map, except I have a teleporter, and I didn't know how teleporters worked. It's my only map with a teleporter, and you came out of the teleporter a little sideways if you weren't host, but I did add a shield door to prevent you from falling off. But this next map here is Divine. This is my 6th map, and it's a crazy long and awesome roller coaster. It has like a 3-minute lap time. It's got a triple spiral towards the end, a double spiral. Also towards the end there is a big jump, a bigger jump, and then one of the biggest jumps in Halo Reach that doesn't use a teleporter or a man cannon. It's a really good map. This one is Unhinged V2. This was my next double wide map, and the scenery are these giant rock monsters. I initially had vehicles sitting up there, but in the race game type there are no vehicles, so I had to delete them. But it's a great map. The reason it's a V2 is because I initially had a figure 8 on the terrain section, which was supposed to be like collision inducing, like a collision course, but before collision courses were a thing. So I always used to try and add collisions in my map, but a few people said they didn't like the figure 8, so I deleted it and made V2. But this is Barren Wasteland, one of my best double wide maps. Can't Stop Donut featured this map on the channel Forge World Maps, and I was very proud of that. I think it was one of the best double wide maps towards the beginning of Reach. This map is Boulevard. It was the first city track ever in Halo Reach racetrack, and this map was great. I had the idea for a long time, and I finally did it. And the co-founder of Racing in Halo, Killer 200, even said out of all like the Reach maps, he likes the city maps, especially. And so I was really, kind of honored by that, and I really liked that. And tons of people make city maps now, and Boulevard kind of influenced so many people. So this next map is Mon Dieu V2, and this is just a fixed up version. The spawns are better, the ending is fixed, the jump is fixed, and a different part is fixed, and I added a few evil snails as scenery. But this next map here is Danish, which was Just another great double-wide map. This one had a little bit of frame rate lag, so that was unfortunate, but not too bad. It's just because there were so many pieces in the Hemorrhage Canyon area. But it was a really smooth map. It was a great map, and yeah, I really like this one, except for the scenery. There's not really much scenery. It's my first map in Reach without a theme to it. This next map is Lacustrine Lagoon. I made it with It's Drifting, who is XX, Epic Forger, XX, and Halo 3, one of the best sandbox double-wide forgers. And he made the whole part with the giant pieces and like those giant turns and hill. And I made, you can tell what I made, like the smooth normal double-wide with the normal pieces. And I made all the scenery except for the rock monster who spits out fireballs, which was made by HFR founder, or also known as iForger. But this next map is Avenue, and right there is a courthouse with the rock pillars outside and a flag. This map is a great map. It has billboards. It's got a jump through a building. It has a few nice turnaround sections. It has a turnaround section around a lighthouse, which is pretty cool, and the lighthouse is out over the rocks on the water. And this was the first city track, I'm pretty sure, to have an underground tunnel section. And I think that was a great city map. Both of mine were really cool in my opinion. This one is Reluctant Speedometer with Zerker Mafia. He made the whole, you can tell what he made. And then Goldman 010 came and made a giant rocket ship. And Zerker asked me to make this map with him, kind of how Epic Forging did with Lacustrine Lagoon. I ended up naming both maps. But I made some random scenery on this map, and you can tell the double-wide part I made. Just like 3 or 4 turns, nothing much. This next one is Caddyshack. I made it with Boyd the Milkman. We made this for a contest on halotracks.org, a terrain track. It had to be so long, but also, you know, scenery and stuff was also a factor. This one ended up winning the contest and getting featured on halotracks.org on the homepage. We were very honored by that because this was the first terrain track Boyd and I had ever made in Halo 3 or Reach, and he made mostly the track. I made most of the scenery, and we made the jumps together, and it turned out great. This one's a Lurophile, which is a double-wide by HJ117 and I. And HJ started this map, asked me to work on it with him, and I finished it with him. I named this map because the scenery on this map is supposed to be totally weird and random, by the way. But there's this one scenery piece he added near the beginning. I thought it looked like a cat, and I looked up cat-related words, and Lurophile is a cat lover, so he let me name the map that. And this next one's Angelic with V-Ionized. I know you noticed that I've been making a lot of maps with people all of a sudden in a row, but a lot of people, I guess, you know, all of a sudden wanted to make maps with me, so that was cool. But this was a Christmas map, and right here is awesome. It's a giant present with a SX track that Vianney's made inside of it, and I made the to from part, and we both made different sections of the map. We had every kind of map on this. We had double wide, city, terrain, Supercross. It was a crazy mix of maps. This grid section was his idea, so you could see people driving above or below you, and this was for the Christmas contest on halotracks.org in 2010, and we ended up winning, and that was my second feature, so I became a distinguished member, and I know everyone's thinking this is Scorched by God's Regret, but I made, you could tell kind of which parts I made. I made a double-wide turn out of building blocks, as well as a double-wide turn leading towards a small jump made out of walls, and then incline pieces. I made that with God's Regret and Stoyben. Stoyben made a good part of the map too. God's Regret just didn't. It was a three-way like forge that we made together, but God's Regret didn't really credit us. He kind of mentioned us in the video, but not in the description of the map. This is Round the Mountain V2. It's pretty much just Round the Mountain except smoothened out, and all the issues are fixed. It doesn't have the FX anymore. It has a way better ending, and it's got a boat by V-Ionized and a helicopter by V-Ionized. The helicopter, a lot of people ended up copying, but anyways, this map is Cookie SX. It has a Joshua at the beginning, and it's a really unique SX track. It's a lot different than most Supercross racetracks, and a lot of people like this map because it has big jumps and it's different, and a lot of the new SX track forgers just make small jumps so they can make their maps quickly, but I literally spent multiple months on that map to make big jumps and make them consistent, so it was a great map overall. This is Comeback, which a lot of people, I guess, maybe didn't like or something, but it was one of my least downloaded maps. However, I was really proud of this map. I love games like Fable and Oblivion, those old-fashioned villages, and so I tried to make that. I made, these unique-looking old-fashioned buildings. It's more of a scenery map, kind of like Duquesne 23's maps. How he makes, really cool scenery and then just kind of a random racetrack on the terrain around it. There is a Joshua in the distance, and overall it's a great map. The lap is a little bit long, but it's a good map overall. And the beginning section is great for collisions because some people go down and up on the double wide part. And RLD Hot Tamale recommended I make a daytime and nighttime version of it because I was initially just going to have it as night. So I made Comeback at night as well. But this next map here is Explosive. And this was the first ever racetrack in Halo to be completely 100% focused on fusion coil traps and fusion coils falling from the sky. It is a great map. It's got crazy aesthetics. It's got like 3 vehicles, some cranes, some smokestacks, a forklift, and a big 18-wheeler truck, and like a dump truck with the back open. It's got a factory. It's just got crazy good aesthetics, and it was a fun map. A little too long with the lap, but great map overall. This next one is Minas Morgul, based off Minas Morgul from Lord of the Rings. And it was really hard to make because in the movies, they barely ever show the inside of Minas Morgul. They really only show it when an orc is putting like the gloves onto one of the ring wraiths or whatever. And so you don't really get to see the inside. So I looked up this video game I'd never heard of. I think it's a computer game called Lord of the Rings Conquest. And I based the inside off of how it looked in that game, and people who had played the game said I did a great job and it looked just like that. But I was really proud of that. One of my most proud maps, one of my best maps that I'm most proud of. This is Mulholland. I made it with RLD Hot Tamale. Surprisingly, the first and only map we ever made together. It's a hardcore track with I made the double wide. He made the roller coaster up against the cliff. He wanted to make a cliffside map. I love the feature where I have a double wide as the roof and the floor. I copied that from Halo 3 maps that I saw that had that feature. But this is a great map and one of the few hardcore, like actual hardcore tracks in Halo Reach. But this next one is Summer Slopes. Right there is the skier and snowboarder, and then there's the ski lift. This was a really cool map that I was really proud of. It's got crazy big hills and turns. Really smooth double wide parts, and then it's got this awesome ending with this lift that brings you up onto the rocks, and then there's this chute that sends you up the rocks, and it works like 100% of the time. And I was very proud of that map. It actually got featured on Team Epiphany, so I was proud of that. But this map is Paradisal Path, which is the first of 3 maps in the Paradise Lost map pack. This map is compatible with battle tracks, and it's pretty good for it. It's supposed to have exaggerated features. It has a giant hill and giant bank turns and waves and a giant jump. And this next map here is Road to Zion. What you'll see with all 3 maps in this map pack is they start off with a really giant steep hill, and towards the end of the map you will see a giant jump somewhere. But this map's super smooth. In my opinion, my best double wide map. So smooth. It's great for battle tracks. I really like this map a lot. It's the first and only double wide map that I made that uses no terrain at all. It uses a tiny bit of a rock at the very beginning, but that's not really terrain, so I was kind of proud of that. This next map is the 3rd map in the Paradise Lost map pack called Kingdom Come. It's got some cool, unique looking airplanes on it, and it's a hybrid map. It is compatible for battle tracks, but not so great for it because it's big and spread out and there's terrain sections. The double wide parts, though, are incredibly smooth and very good. The jump works well, and I think overall it's a really fun map. The hill gets steeper kind of in all 3 maps, and this one it's like so steep where if you mess up, you fail. This next map is Checkerboard. I know I just released it, so I'm only going to show it quickly. It's a minigame map where you try and knock each other off with warthogs on this big checkerboard. But there's also, it's an infection map, so there's also zombies running around with gravity hammers and golf clubs, and they try to knock you off. Plus, the other people on warthogs are trying to knock you off, so it's crazy. And this is my newest and final map that I just released called CookieMonster's, a crazy smooth double-wide hybrid map with terrain. My smoothest and biggest bank wave in Halo Reach, and crazy big jumps, tons of jumps, a triple jump section, great scenery including Cookie Monster, Elmo, Nom, Lala, and a giant cookie jar and a Joshua. But thank you guys very much for watching. I thank everyone who ever downloaded any of my maps in Halo 3 and Halo Reach, anyone who supported me, anyone who watched this video series. I just wanted to show people how hard I've been working for years to get to where I am now, and why I am a good forger. And I think I am a good forger because I've worked hard for years to get there. But thank you guys very much. I love all of you. Cookie out. But I'll be back in the Halo 4. Yeah. Cookie! Oh, also guys, I forgot one last map. This one's called 30-second racetrack. A, because it's like 30 seconds long, well less than that, and B, because I made it. I literally made this whole map in like 30 seconds. I was in a Forge game with a few other people. I just forgot about it. Just now I was playing with Harkler and X-Rains, and I remember that I made this map a long time ago. I think I was with like Boyd to Milkman and some other people in just that lobby. But what I did was I just made it compatible for race and added kill boundaries. And just now, even though I made this map like a year ago, so this is one more map, 30-second racetrack. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. By the way, the Joshua on this map is like retarded or something. But anyways, thanks.
Checkpoint reach. Checkpoint reach. Lap complete. Checkpoint reach. Checkpoint reach. Checkpoint reach. Lap complete. Checkpoint reach. Checkpoint reached. Checkpoint reached. Lap complete. Checkpoint reached. Checkpoint reached. Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Checkpoint reached. Lap complete. Checkpoint reached. Gained the lead.